When I decided to upgrade the comms in my Jeep, I did a lot of research, I read a lot of reviews, and I decided on this Midland MXT575. Straight out of the box, you can see how small and compact the main power unit is. On the front of the unit, you have 2 ports. This is where you would plug your microphone into. This is a rubber plug that covers a USB-C port so that you can run a cable and charge up your cell phone or some other device. You have a mounting bracket. On the back, you have your antenna connection, and of course your wiring harness. Midland provides you with a very long wiring harness, so you can virtually locate the base unit anywhere. It's very easy to hook up. Obviously, this is going to plug into the pigtail on the back of the base unit, and other than that, you have your standard positive and negative wiring connections. This is one of the reasons why I got the MXT575. All the controls are located right here in the microphone. On the top, you have your power on and off. This would be your channel up and down selection. On the front, your volume up and down selection. Obviously, your menu. This is even a button you can press to get your local weather statements. And there are so many other features that I haven't even explored yet. Midland provides you with a quarter wave antenna, and this screws onto the magnetic base. Your antenna cable, as you can see, is pre-attached to the magnetic base, and this is where your quarter wave antenna would screw onto this. Now, if you have a Jeep with a fiberglass hardtop, you're probably wondering, how the heck am I going to get this to stick to fiberglass? Well, Midland even thought of that, because what they provide you is a metal plate, and it has an adhesive backing to it. I'm not sure if it's 3M VHB tape, but it covers the entire surface of a metal plate. You peel it off, stick it on your hardtop. Now you have a metal mounting surface for that magnetic base. Two of the compelling reasons why I bought it: first, not only because it pushes out a whopping 50 watts, but also because all the controls are right here in the microphone. That means you can stash the main power unit under the dash, in the glove box, or in my case, under the passenger seat of my Jeep. This is the location where I chose to mount my Midland MXT575 GMRS radio. This is the underside of the passenger seat of my Jeep JK. Those yellow plugs or electrical connections that you see underneath the radio used to be mounted on the top of a metal plate. I popped those out of the holes that they were in with a trim removal tool. I just relocated them underneath the plate, and then I took a piece of 3M VHB tape and I mounted the GMRS radio onto that plate. The wire that you see, or the cable coming out of the left side of the radio, is where your microphone would plug into. I ended up having to relocate that outlet to my center console. The cable that you see plugged into the left side of the base unit is actually an extension cable that I bought on Amazon. It comes in 2 different lengths, and essentially it just relocates that outlet up here to the center console. I ran the cable underneath the center console, came through up here, and then I ended up cutting a small hole in the side of the console to run the wire back out through. And then, because I have sort of a blue on a black theme going with my Jeep, I bought this mounting plate, which is essentially electrical mounting plate for a Cat 5 cable, and I cut off the top and bottom mounting ears. I enlarged the center hole, which is where your Cat 5 cable or plug would plug into, and I made it large enough so that this panel mount would push in and clip into the opening. And then, as you can see, that made it all one piece, and I just mounted this onto the side of my center console. Now my microphone will plug in right here. It makes it a lot easier to plug and unplug the microphone right here than trying to get in underneath the seat. One of the reasons that I bought this radio, this MXT575, is because I could relocate the main portion of the radio in an undisclosed location to protect it from theft. And this also works along the same lines. All I have to do is unplug the microphone, and then I can take it and I can put it in my center console, or I can put it in the glove box and lock it up. You obviously don't need to do all of this like I've done. You can cut a hole that is large enough to put this panel mount directly into the side of your center console. Now, as I previously mentioned, my radio is mounted underneath the passenger seat. It was very easy to run the antenna cable underneath the trim, and then I came up through to this compartment right here on alongside the passenger door. To remove that panel, just use a flat tip screwdriver or a trim removal tool and gently pry. The flat tip screwdriver or the trim removal tool will give you access to put your fingers in here and remove this. The panel is only held on with clips. As you can see here, I have my antenna cable, and this is just a power wire that goes back to an accessory fuse block. If you've never run any wiring through this location and into your engine compartment, all you need to do is to look for a round hole that looks like it's filled with foam. Then you can take a Phillips screwdriver or something sharp and poke through the foam. That will give you access to run your wires through the fender and into the engine compartment. Then, as you can see, what I've done here is I've taken a rubber grommet and I lined the hole with the grommet to protect the wires from the edge of the metal. Once I ran my antenna wire through the engine compartment, I came out here on the driver's side, and as you can see, instead of using the quarter wave antenna that Midland provides with the MXT575, I ended up going for the ghost antenna. The ghost antenna is very low profile, and I purchased this bracket on eBay, and that allowed me to mount it here on the driver's side. The seller on eBay stated that this would fit a 2012 Jeep JK, which is what my Jeep is. The only problem is other sellers said that this bracket would not work. And there's one specific reason. Right here is where this piece of metal was bent into a lip. That lip is designed to fit into the slot here between the cowling and your fender. The problem is, with my Jeep JK, even with this bent, it sat up too high. Since this antenna weighs next to nothing, I opted to keep the bracket, and I flattened the lip out to make this straight, and then I just hit it with some rust reformer paint. Well, hopefully this gave you a little bit of insight as to what's out there as far as GMRS radios. Midland does make an MXT575, which is not as powerful as the 50 watt unit here, but it would still do probably the same thing. I just figured since I was upgrading the comms, I'd go for the highest one that they offered. So hopefully this video gave you a little bit more knowledge as to what's involved in installing the GMRS radio. There's really nothing to it. Hook up your positive, hook up your ground, hook up your antenna. You know, you just have to find a mounting location for the base unit, and that's what's nice about it, is that you can hide it out of the way and keep it out of prying eyes. And you have a choice of antennas. You can use the quarter wave antenna that comes with the kit, or you can get a ghost antenna, or I think they even have you know, larger whip antennas or bumper mount antennas that they've come out with. One other note that I want to point out is that with this pushing out 50 watts, the SCC requires you to obtain a license. And with that, the process is very, very simple, can all be done online. And all you do is fill out the information online, give them a credit card number, and I think the processing took maybe a day. I think the next day I ended up getting my call letters. And the price is $35 for 10 years. And it not only covers you, but it covers your entire immediate family. So if this video gave you some knowledge or some help in some way, you know, please consider sharing it. Give me a thumbs up. Even better, please become a subscriber. Thanks for watching.